Yes, thank you. Thank you, Tile. And thank you, everybody, for this discussion. Actually, it took a little bit more time than planned, but we decided not to interrupt it because it was very valuable. And we received also valuable feedback from you. And now, as Tila said, we can go on with the next topic, which is actually monitoring. So before starting this interactive activity, just let me share some few words about monitoring, because everybody is more or less familiar with the concept of evaluation. So when you finish with the project, you want to know the feedback. You want to get the impressions and comments from the participants, from the partners. You want to check the results. So more or less everybody is familiar with this concept. More or less everybody is also familiar with the concept of planning, so the beginning of the project. And we tackled this during the webinar number 1 and number 2. Still, monitoring is kind of a question mark, because it's something that happens in between. So between the design phase, during the implementation phase, and before evaluation. So monitoring is that process that allows us to check how the project is developing and to check the progress of the project. And sometimes we don't have the time, sometimes we don't have the resources to do this check, to do this kind of evaluation between the beginning and the end. And because, why? Because it takes time, it takes human resources. Sometimes we are too busy in implementing the activities and we don't have time to check how things are going. It requires sometimes a stop. You need time out. You need to say time out. I really want to see how things are developing. Sometimes this is a real privilege that we don't have, because time is a very precious factor, sometimes even more precious than money. And sometimes also the life of the project is short, let's say 6 months, 4 months, and we cannot take the privilege to stop everything for 2 or 3 months in order to check the pulse or to get the feedback from the partners. Nevertheless, it is very, very important to do this. And if we take the time and if we find the resources to do it, the quality of the activities can improve. And we can react also to obstacles. We can improve the relationship with the partners. We can have a talk with the participant, not at the end, but during the project. And we can find ways in order to improve things while they are developing. As said, sometimes we don't have the resources to do it. So in order to better understand this process, we created a kind of game or a simulation. This is a real case that happened to me, and it is not finished yet, but we imagine that the project will finish. So basically, it is a game where we will meet different crossroads. So it is a real project, or it is based on a real project, and we will meet some specific situation, and we have to decide where direction to take, either A or B, left or right. Sometimes it can sound a little bit black or white decision, but this is life. Sometimes you don't have time and you have to take a drastic decision. And each decision will create a parallel reality that will lead us to a conclusion. So there is one happy ending, there are 2 moderate ending, and there are 4 game over. So we will see together if we have enough, so to say, skills or just imagination to get to the happy ending. It's a game, it's a simulation. So don't worry, we are not under pressure, we are not losing money if we lost. Let's see how things developed. Some question will be quite technical because it's also about relationship with the donors, relationship with the partners, relationship with the participants, but everything is based on real facts. So it is something that it might happen to you in real life when you're going to develop projects. So now I will share my screen, and the other members of the team, so Khadija and Tila, will help me to pick up your comments whenever there is a question, because I think I will be able to see my screen, but I will not be able to see you and your faces. So I ask Khadija and Tila to help in this. So let's now start with the game. So this is the monitoring game. Can you please confirm that you see the slide? Okay, yes. So let's start. And our aim is to save the project together. And now I will share. Description, it's January 2020. You are managing a multi-activity project with 10 partners from Europe and the MENA region. The topic is the promotion of non-formal education and creation of new educational tools. So January 2020, COVID is not still there, everything is going fine. So you have already organized 4 activities on presence, and now you have to organize the last activity, which is a big meeting in Spain in April 2020 with 100 participants and trainers from the 10 partners to show the final result, organize a conference, and celebrate the end of the project. So it will be a kind of conference, a celebration, the final activity of the multi-activity project. But ta-da, suddenly in March 2020, everything stops due to COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, yeah. This is real life, unfortunately. So we must save the project, but how? Let's work together to find solutions. Okay, so let's go back. It's March 2020. So in Europe, the restrictions to mobility have started. You cannot organize the last activity anymore because of COVID-19 pandemic. What do you do? Okay, so you are the applicant organization and you have the power to take decision, okay? So option number 1, option A, you decide to wait. Things will settle down sooner or later, okay? So you decide to wait. Option number B, it's important to react fast. You decide to inform the donors and the partners. So the donors is the institution which is giving you the money. So which option would you choose? A, you do nothing, or B, you decide to inform the donors and the partners about the situation?
B.
B? Okay, is the group okay with this?
Adonel also says in the chat B.
B, okay.
I'm gonna choose
Jonathan. Safa, B.
B. Okay. So you think that it is important to react fast? I can go with B.
Yeah, you can annotate his screen actually if you want.
Yeah.
And put a stamp in the choice.
Okay, so well done. You took some action and it was the right action. I mean, being passive, it is very dangerous in this case. The donors should know what you intend to do. So you think that the best thing to do is to ask the donors to put the project on standby mode. So you want to use this option and you want to postpone the last activity. This is something typical normal that happened after the beginning of the pandemic, the outbreak. And here you have 2 options. So you decided to put the project in standby mode, so to wait for the development, and at the same time also to postpone the last activity. A, you first inform the donors and then you inform the partners, or B, first you inform the partners and then you inform the donors. So basically, option number A is you take initiative and you start communicating with the donors and then you take time to inform the partners.
Mauro,
and B is vice versa.
Mauro,
Yes.
we have many Bs, but we also have Safa, if I pronounce it right, with your hand.
Okay, this is interesting. So why Safa would you choose A?
No, actually, I choose B.
Okay.
I'm gonna choose B because really we should inform the partners first. This is sure because we should discuss and you know, find a solution and how to inform the donors, because the donors will give us money. So this is my opinion.
Okay. So
Cynthia?
Yes, I think inform the partners first before the donors. The reasons is because you know, this is a project, and according to you, a project have words to be used, you know, so that you can be saying yes while you are saying no. So you have to be tactful in the words you use. That's why you have to inform your partners first, sit in a round table and decide the rightful way to inform the donors. For me.
okay, so if I understood well, I have the green light to go with the B option, okay? Since the overall majority is for B. By the way, also people on Facebook can express their opinion and we can have a look. So I will go with B. First you inform the partners, then you inform the donors. Let's see what happened. Okay, here we have kind of challenge. Not all the partners, sorry, here there is a mistake, but not all the partners reply and the donors require explanation for your silence. So basically you send a mail or you try to call the partners on the phone, but you don't have the reply from all the partners. So we said that we had 10 partners, let's assume that only 5 give your feedback. So here we have a situation and we have 2 options. A, you keep on waiting for all the partners' reply. Their involvement is essential and you want to avoid dangerous misunderstanding. And B, you send the request of postponement without the green light from all the partners. So basically A, you keep on waiting, or B, you decide to take action.
The answer is A.
Okay, so Tile, can you help me in understanding
yeah,
if
so
A or B?
if it's A or B, you can either type your option in the chat box or you can speak out loud. So Cynthia says A. Safa as well agrees with A. Antonella chooses A. We have Khawla says B. Okay. Jonathan chooses
why
A.
B? I'm curious to hear about those who chose B.
Yes, I have chosen B because the answer here, or the question, or the request that not all partners have replied. So we have the majority of partners that have replied to have sent their, I mean their answers. So we are going to waste time in waiting for other partners whether to send their answers or not. And since we are in a project and the project we are limited in time and in so we have to prove why we have to postpone and to freeze, because in terms of financial we have the financial part. They should be why there is this this time out. So we have to justify the whether to postpone or to freeze our activities. This is why I have chosen B, because we have to react quickly in order to save this this project.
This is a very good point, and
okay,
let's see if you manage to convince the house, because I have to take a decision based on the majority now. So
yes.
Kim Babazi raises the hand, so maybe you can go next.
yes, let's hear more voices.
I want to defend why I've chosen B, and I want to respond in line with COVID, and we happen to be the organization that is championing World Heritage in Uganda. So we met different stakeholders and we are advised that it is important to reschedule our activities. This was done at local level, so we agreed with local members. Then later we had to inform the other partners, which is UNESCO, and from the observation, the response was taken well. People may not respond immediately, but it doesn't mean they do not agree to whatever is going on.
Okay, thanks. This is a comment based on a real situation, so it is very, very interesting, and it gives more point to the B. But still, I think we have also many options, many people who chose option A. So we have to find here, we have to take a decision. So since I cannot see the chat.
Safa is raising her hand.
Can I please defend for E?
Yes, please.
So I'm totally agreeing with what the arguments about B. But also,
but they're not talking. What?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. But when we say partners, mean that we're partners from the first day in the project. So we will take the decision, all of us will take the responsibility of the results of our decisions. So it's not right to take the step and take the decision and just go ahead and I don't know, take the decision and go and tell them about your decision. It's not your partner's decision. So for me, I think that we should wait for the partners to take all the, I don't know, all the opinions and after all, take the final decision and just tell it.
Okay.
So if I can tell my opinion, I'm neutral now.
Okay.
I'm not E or B.
And Safa, my question to you, let's imagine that you did all the best. You did your best to contact the partners, 5 partners, let's say, but they are not to be found, really. No matter if you call them on the phone, no matter how many mails, maybe they're on holidays, maybe the office is closed because things that you cannot control because they are on another continent. How would you do in this case?
I don't know. In this case, maybe I'm just gonna close my phone and just gonna pretend that I'm not there even. Because I cannot take the responsibility of my own decision. It's partnership. Means
Yes.
that we should all of us take the decision, which I think if that's gone for a really long time, I'm gonna take B. If it's really long time, like a lot of months, not just days or weeks.
Yes,
this is my
it is the
opinion.
case. It can be the
Yeah.
case that it is 1 month. So I imagine the question as this. It's not a matter of days. It's 1 month and you haven't still the reply. So in this case, what would you do? And you are the
I guess
applicant organization, so you have responsibility towards the donor.
so. I'm gonna just think harder, and I'm gonna go with B.
Okay. So
Thank you.
thank you for this. Actually, this is all your doubts are very valuable because this is something that might happen in real life and you have to take a hard decision.
Yeah, that's where I thank you for your question, because it's really matter. One day can happen, so we should really think about it. And I think the arguments for B, it's good, and I think B is the real answer. It's a good answer.
Okay, maybe things are changing. Just Khadija, maybe you can update me about the choice, because now we have to take the choice.
Exactly. So Anas is saying in the chat box to inform the partners, then the donors, informing to build up a good support with all parties.
So it is A.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what is the majority, and I will go other
Okay.
way. What do you think?
So I think the majority here goes for A.
Okay, so I will go A.
Or, mhm.
Okay, so this is just a simulation, but I'm preparing you to something. You might understand what's going on now. It's a game.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh no, game over. So the donors are very angry about this delay because we said it was more than 1 month, okay, let's imagine, and decide to withdraw the grant. So they take the money away from the last activity. So in such cases, the applicant should be more reactive. I stress again, in this game, we imagine that that the time of waiting was too long, okay? Let's say more than 1 month, and you are the applicant. So a partner can take the time that he wishes, but the applicant has a responsibility towards the donors, should inform the donors, and in this case, the applicant is accountable. So we go back, and now we see what's happened if we do B. Of course, here your concerns are very much based because this is also a risk. So we want to inform the donors, but we are not consulting all the partners, and this can endanger the project. But let's see what happened. So in this case, it was a good reaction because it is important to communicate to the donor as soon as possible. And now that we took this decision of freezing the project, of putting it in standby, we can go back to the partners, okay? And we can propose changes to the dates and format of the last activity. So the meaning of this is that to ask for a postponement in case of emergency like COVID, it is something that you can decide very quickly, okay? Because the donors need to be updated about it. And this is a responsibility of the applicant. And then you can start negotiating, you can start talking, you can start the discussion process with the partners, okay? So in this case, you know, you are safe, you are more self-confident because you know that the donors is informed about the intention, and the intention is that you want to postpone the activity, you ask for the suspension of the project, so the project is on standby mode, okay? And now you have all the time to talk with the partners. So also here in this case, there is a decision to be taken. You need to change the dates and the format of the last activity. Maybe you want to turn it into an online conference. In this case, again, you first inform the donors and then the partners. Or now that you have got more time, you decide first to talk with the partners, and then you share the final decision with the donors.
So far we have B's, a lot
Yeah.
of B's.
I think that from the previous mistake, we learned the lesson. So let's go with B. Yes, good choice. But how do you inform the partner? So you have to start now the real monitoring, the real process, communication process with the partners. There is option A. You organize different meetings, online meetings with Zoom or Skype, with small groups of partners, not with the 10 partners together, but let's say first meeting with 2 partners, second meeting with other 2 partners, and so on, according to the region, because there are different time zones, in order to have more time to talk. However, this will take more time, of course, it's normal. Option B, you need to speed up the process because you want to focus on other things, okay? So you want to make it snappy. You organize a Zoom meeting with all the 10 partners together because, you know, the donor are pushing or you want to take more time. And then you wrap up, you take a decision and you inform the donors. So basically, option number A, you take more time because you want really to talk with each partner or in small groups and you want to take a decision together. B, you don't want to give so much time to this and you want to focus on other projects. And you just organize one meeting with all 10 partners together and then you inform the donor. What is your choice? A, more time, or B, less time?
So here Safa says B, or is it Antonella says B, Cynthia chooses B, Safa chooses A, Kimbabazi chooses B, Khawla chooses A, Cynthia chooses A.
Ooh,
So
okay, maybe we can open the floor if somebody wants to convince the other party. You got 1 minute to do it.
Safa is raising her hand.
Yes, please.
Hello again. So I'm saying that faster is never the solution. If we're going fast, believe me, these 10 partners, at least half of these partners, which mean 5, they were coming back after the Zoom meeting and they are gonna ask me a lot of questions, which I can really explain it just in if I can do a different meeting like 2 or 3 in one meeting and explain good, and they will take my answers and they can ask me how they want. It's good, just not like doing that fast and 10 partners. No one gonna understand what I'm going to say and they cannot give me questions. It is gonna be just a mess. This is my opinion.
Good point. So you're championing A. You want more time.
Yes, I'm going with A.
Good points. So
Okay.
And who would like to defend B, maybe?
Want to defend
Can
A?
I?
Yes, Antonella, the floor is yours.
Thanks. Yes, I choose B just because I think it's important to have a meeting with all the partners, but not because I want to like do everything very fast and because I'm like feeling pushing, but just because I think it's important to have like a big group that also I don't think is a very big, like 10 partners. I think it's something that it could be managed in a way. So I think it's important to have like all the partners together and maybe have like a meeting of 2 hours that it could be like a lot, but just to have all the people there that can like talk about the project and stuff.
okay, thanks, Antonella. This is a very good point. In order to make it more real, I will tell you what happened in the real project. The 10 partners, they belong to different continents and they have different languages. So some of them speaks only Spanish, some of them speaks only English, and they belong to different time zone. And it's very challenging to put them together in one Zoom meeting. This was the real situation.
Excuse me, but this is why my opinion is the good one. We should organize different meetings so like we can understand each other. I can like do the 3 like who they speak Spanish alone and who they speak English alone and different languages. So that's all.
So after this new data, which were not included in the slides because we didn't have space, how would you react? Now, again, now you have more data, you have listened to different opinions, so let's choose again. A or B? Because now I'm taking the decision.
Safa is still convinced that A is the right answer. Khawla chooses A. And Kim Babazi says, I choose B because we need to appreciate technology and Zoom is doing it for us. Cynthia chooses A. Okay, so I think people are opting for A.
A, okay, we don't have 100% majority.
Sorry,
We don't have time to go on, even
Silva?
if it will be super interesting to go on with the discussion. But let's say that if there's somebody who wants to comment, last comment, very short.
I just want to go for B, like even with the time zone and even with the language. I mean, we can schedule a long meeting that can work for everyone, but then organize, I don't know, the breakout rooms for the language issue. For sure, there is people in the organizations that can be there to help with the English. And for sure, there is a solution, but I really think that the network in partnership has to be together for a choose like that. I mean, if it's separate meetings, there is no group or teamwork. Some point, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Okay, this is also a good point.
Can I say something, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, for me, I choose A because organizing different meetings, for example, you could see them face to face, You understand? And they will listen to you. And Zoom, for me, Zoom meeting is not the best because it's not everybody that speaks the same languages. So it can be difficult to understand what the other person is saying. We are doing this Zoom meeting here because all of us speak English. If nobody speaks English amongst all, it will be difficult for the person to understand what we're talking about, and it will become boring for the person to decide what to do. So for me, I believe A is the real answer.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia, it was clear. So Khadija, can you please lead me to a choice?
It's
according to
very
the majority?
difficult. So Antonella says B. I agree with Dora. And there's a lot of missing with separate meetings. Yeah. So so far we have 3 A's and 2 B's.
Let's go with A. It's interesting. Then we will see also what would have happened, even if actually the B scenario didn't happen and it would develop according to my imagination. What happened actually in real life with A? So for sure, I can tell you what's gonna happen next. So yes, the partners appreciate that choice of multiple meetings. They thank you as they really needed more time to understand what is going on and to share inputs after the first 4 activities, okay? So what do you do next? You collect the feedback from all these meetings, shape a new plan for the donors, and the new plan is a smaller residential event with blended learning. Blended learning, that means that there will be people physically and then people also connected online. Before sending it to the donors, you share it again with the partners by mail and you wait for the green light. So you produce this idea, you share it with everybody, you say, do you agree? And then if they agree, you share it with the donors. Then the plan B, you don't want to take so much time. So you collect the feedback, you create a new plan, and you send it to the donors without sharing it with the partners. So A, you take more time. B, you are much more direct. What do you suggest?
Okay, so Safa and Khawla agree that A is the correct answer.
Okay.
So you can type in your answer, your choice, whether you go for A or B. Antonella, Kimbabazi, Cynthia all agree with A, so let's go with A.
Yeah, this was, Tila would say that it is a kind of rhetorical question. It was a little bit suggested, but this is what happened in real life, okay? And well done, the new plan is approved by the donors. What's next? So you organize a Zoom meeting with the partners to distribute the roles and to ensure that everything is clear. In this case, you can organize just one Zoom meeting and you try to deal with the translation. The option B, no time for Zoom. You send a mail to the partners with a plan of action and ask them if they agree on it or not. So A, you talk with the partners with the Zoom. B, you just communicate with them by email and you ask them confirmation by email.
Okay, Anas says A. Tile is not answering. So
It was just to separate the answers.
Khawla is choosing A. Safa chooses B. Antonella chooses A. Cynthia goes for A. So the majority opts for A.
Okay, let's go with A. You have reached your happy ending. Perfect management. You saved the project. Congratulations. Okay. So this is what happened in real life. So as you can see, sometimes the applicants speed it up, and it was when there was the case of taking a decision to inform directly the donors about putting the project in standby. Since the other partners didn't react quickly, the applicants decided to take action and to start communicating with the donors. Then the applicants took the time to start the communication process and through different Zoom meetings. And we can see also in these final steps, applicant react fast to communicate with the donors. Then the applicant involves the partners in a participatory process before changing the activity So new task, roles, agreements are discussed through different Zoom meetings. Then the plan is sent to the donors approve it, and the applicant invites the partners to define and finalize the new tasks together. The progress is constantly monitored before the activity. The activity is implemented, and partners evaluate the project together at the end of the activity. So I can, right now we don't have the time to see also the other possible endings, but one possible ending was this. If we had chose to save time, okay, many times we had the possibility, okay, I don't want to lose time in organizing Zoom. I want to go directly. I want to communicate with partners only by sending mails. In this case, the final scenario was that you could have had misunderstandings, because just receiving emails doesn't ensure to you that the partners understood. So a scenario could have been that you organize the final activity and only few participants come. So instead of having 20 participants, you have 15, because there was no possibility to check everything with the other partners, or they didn't understand what blended learning is, because there was no time to talk with them, or they were afraid to ask you because they think that you were too busy. So only by meeting in Zoom or by asking them directly, you have the possibility to avoid misunderstanding, to check the progress, to see how the project is developing. So to conclude this, it's very strange that in this project we had the possibility to start this monitoring process because of COVID. If COVID wasn't there, we didn't have the time to do it. But thanks, so to say, to COVID, there was the possibility to extend the timeline of the project and to take all the time to talk with the partners. And partners appreciated this. So in real life, it would have been really good to have more time, more resources available in order to talk with the partners, with the participants, with the staff, in order to say, okay, are we going to do a good direction or not? Can we assess this? Can we check? Can we evaluate this? Can we check where we are going? So we are really happy to see that actually your interaction during this activity was quite high. And maybe for some participants was too much technical, but if you want to start the adventure of writing a project, you will have to face the monitoring process. And this is can be challenging. Sometimes can be very smooth, but sometimes you will need really cold blood, so to say, and good experience. So before finishing this, I thank you for your participation, and I give the floor now directly to Khadija, because we are a little bit behind schedule. And so Khadija will lead you in the final evaluation session. Thank you.